All right, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power. So today I wanted to make a video about another forgotten bodybuilder for you guys. This time it's a bodybuilder from the 1980s and the 1990s. Now this is a bodybuilder by the name of Jimmy Quinn. This is a bodybuilder from New York. He's still alive, and he currently owns a company called Quinn Body and Performance. So back when he competed in the 80s and 90s, at the height of his career, he was 6'1", 252 pounds on stage. So an important thing to note about Jimmy Quinn is that he was part of the original WBF. So for those of you who don't know, the WBF was a bodybuilding federation started by Vince McMahon, kind of in an attempt to rival the IFBB. I guess Vince thought he could do a better promotion and get more, media coverage and more eyeballs on the sport. So basically, Vince founded the WBF to kind of rival the IFBB, and he recruited a bunch of IFBB bodybuilders to come compete for him. And when he did that, some of the bodybuilders that came from the IFBB to compete for him and then went back to the IFBB after the WBF failed, the IFBB did not, treat them very well. They were kind of viewed as traitors because they went over to the WBF, and then when they came back to the IFBB, they didn't place very well. Traditionally, when you came back to the IFBB from the WBF, it was pretty much the end of your career. You weren't going to do very well. So Jimmy Quinn competed in the 1991 WBF Championships, which was the first WBF championship ever held, and he placed fourth. In the 1992 WBF Championships, which would be the last WBF Championships ever held, he placed second, so he almost won that competition. So the original WBF crew also included another guy that I made a video about by the name of Mike Quinn. And these guys were actually going head-to-head for a while in competition. They were actually very comparable bodybuilders, Jimmy Quinn and Mike Quinn. So that's another important thing to note about this era. So his competition history with the IFBB includes the 1990 IFBB North Americans, which he placed first, the 1993 Night of Champions. So again, all these shows starting in 1993 were after he competed in the WBF. So the 1993 Night of Champions, he placed 11th. The 1994 Ironman Pro Invitational, he placed 16th. The 1994 Night of Champions, he placed 13th. And the 1995 Night of Champions, he placed 14th. And again, like I said, once you come back from the WBF, it's kind of like a career-ending move. So he never placed within the top 10 after he went to compete in the WBF. So I think this was another guy that got forgotten about, largely because of politics. If you look at some of these photos, man, this guy had a very, very impressive physique. He was just a very memorable bodybuilder for a lot of people that followed the sport closely back in the 90s. But for the mainstream population that follows bodybuilding, pretty much nobody is going to remember Jimmy Quinn. So I wanted to make a video about him because I think he's been unfairly forgotten because of his association with the WBF. But I think overall he was a very impressive bodybuilder, deserves some recognition in another video in the present day to kind of remind people who Jimmy Quinn was and how great of a physique he really had. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Nick Strength and Power, signing out.